Yeah, it's Cash. Get him. DJ Deuce McGuire, this hot as a log fire. Spark the lighter in the 303. We wrestle at the quarry. Golden, Colorado. Mercury Pro Wrestling Academy. Elevated wrestling. Yeah. Hashtag follow if you know the motto. Can't stop now. Got the need for speed. Combustion and concussion. Championships in my vision. I put the key in the ignition. Such an easy decision. I got a hustler's ambition. Wrestling at its best. Welcome to the show I put on for Rocky Mountain Pro. Let's go. Yeah, it's Cash.
RMP Radio is back on the air, and I am your host, Mr. Fourth Row, and joining me on the air this time around is Severino Corrente. How you doing?
I'm doing all right, Artie. You know, your handle is very misleading, Mr. Fourth Row. You're never in the fourth row. You're always front row.
Incognito.
I don't think I've ever seen you anywhere but front row, honestly.
Yeah, it's a long story, but basically when I first got back into wrestling, best shows I could get for the big guys was fourth row, so I just kind of stuck with it and got to keep the brand going, you know?
I get it, man.
All right, so like we like to do here on RMP Radio, get to know a little bit more about the person behind the wrestler, and you are very into the powerlifting competitions. What got you into that?
I hate doing cardio, and I like picking up heavy things.
Well, that's a great answer.
Go
ahead.
It was college. I was in a fraternity, Sigma Phi Epsilon, and I was in there with a bunch of different academic guys and athletes. And I remember a few of them were just gym rats, and that's all they did. And I was an athlete in high school, and in college I was looking for something else to do. And the gym just started calling to me. And for a couple of years, I kind of just did it as a hobby. And then when I moved to Canada, I really got into it as just a stress relief from my job. And then I moved down here to Denver, and I still use it as a stress relief, but it is really the thing that keeps me honestly centered at this point.
So it's you're saying centered, therapeutic for you then?
Yeah.
Oh.
If I don't get in, like, and do something, even if it's like on vacation, I just grab a couple dumbbells and just go, I'll start, like, the body will start to ache, my back will start to hurt, everything just starts falling apart. And I got to get in there. It's honestly what keeps me from, like, my temper down, everything. I couldn't imagine going through the rest of my life without having some kind of athletic expression in it.
Oh, awesome! I definitely understand that and get that. But what about the competition part? What got you taking that step in?
That was all one Heidi Howlitzer.
Oh, she hooked you into that, huh?
Yep, she joined the gym I was at, or still am at, and I'll play. It's the 120th True Fit. And she was just like, "You want to do a competition?" I'd never done one, and I was like, "Yeah, absolutely." Got into it, had a blast, and she's actually convincing me in the new year to try a strongman competition instead of just your classic powerlifting, and I'm probably going to end up doing that.
Oh, awesome. That's cool. Is she competing as well with you, or
yeah,
helping? You guys helping push each other and train each other and things like that?
We're both relatively self-starters, so we're not necessarily helping each other, but she competed with me last time. And she took a lot of, like, enjoyment in watching me scramble together to get ready for this thing.
Oh.
And no, she's got more experience in this. She was competing nationally and doing all that stuff, and that's why she's convinced me to do this actual strongman instead of the powerlift. Just try something different and push myself in a different way.
Oh, awesome! That is very, very cool. All right. So what are people able to attend this as fans, and if so, you want to give a plug to that, or?
Yeah, we don't know which we don't know which strongman we're going to do in the new year. There's a couple different options in Denver. If you do follow me, I know you'll probably plug later, but my Twitter handle is at the Severino Core. I'll be posting like updates on it. But yeah, you can come to the events. The powerlifting event we had a good few people there. Jeff McAllister showed up. Dustin Urich showed. A couple of the wrestlers came and just showed their support, and it was a blast.
All right, and do you know anything about this? Is this similar to the ones we would see like on ESPN, or is it a little bit different? Is it not as crazy, or what?
The strongman, I'm not sure what events they'd have, but yeah, if you look up and just even YouTube, ESPN strongman stuff, you'll see some of the crazy stuff. Yeah, there's keg throws, there's Atlas stones, there's just there's just a lot of different ways to test overall strength versus the powerlifting competition, which I enjoy. Your classic squat, deadlift, bench, but being able to pick up and carry this giant boulder and put it on a pedestal and keep going up the ranks, it provides something unique that I want to give a bit of a try to.
Right, and you got to try to prepare for anything, I would suspect.
Yeah, Heidi was explaining it a bit. You go in, and I believe she said you don't know which events they'll pick, but there's there's going to be a lot of pressing, there's going to be a lot of walks, and there's going to be a lot of strain. So, like I said, it's a completely different world to me, but again, it's something I want to try. Be able to say that I at least did it.
Yeah, I totally get that. That's cool. I'd be very interested to see what it happens with competition you get into and all the good stuff like that. So that'd be fun. Mm-hmm. All right. So another thing that you had told me that you're into is gaming, and you actually said that you are a fan of kind of a little bit of everything. So I'm assuming that's console, PC, and everything in between.
Yeah. I grew up with like a Super Nintendo, and just slowly more from there. And I can't game as much anymore with life throwing responsibilities at you, but it was a big part of my life growing up, and even now today, like Diablo, and is one of the more famous gaming franchises, and they just had their big reveal at BlizzCon, and I was watching, and I was getting all amped up because it's like a taste of my childhood coming full circle into my adult life, and it'll be out in a couple years, and just stuff like that, just to be able to take that little enjoyment to. And the way I see it, like one day, have a whole house full of kids and whatnot, be able to like pass that down to them, because I don't watch like cable or a lot of TV. So if I want to have just some mindless entertainment on like a snowy or rainy day, I'll turn on a console here and I'll like kill a couple hours and have a little bit of fun that way.
So I'm going to assume, and if I'm wrong, forgive me, but Diablo that you played, was it the PC version, the kind of the most famous one? Yeah. All right.
Yep. And I got it on Xbox and stuff, but yeah, Diablo. And when I was young and we were living overseas in Europe, my family was, and we made family friends over there. Like if we weren't out traveling or seeing something, if we were at home, because I couldn't really watch TV over there. The Slovak language is a pill. It would be my buddies and I just on Diablo 2, just having a grand old time and just laughing our heads off the whole time, and just having it's memories like that of my childhood. It's like, oh wow, I grew up real quick.
Oh, awesome. Anything else in the gaming that brings fond memories to you, and what do you like playing as well? To kill.
There's not really one thing that I hate. The classics, man. I love Nintendo games. I love like the carts, the parties, the smashes, those like party-esque games, and those are all really entertaining. Like the Pokemon games, yeah, I like when I was a kid. Nowadays, there's It's too many. There's 905,000 Pokemon now. I can't get into it. But when I was younger, I used to hate horror games. Now those are the games I more and more like. Just that nice sense of thrill, because I've started to develop a pretty deep love of just the horror genre in general. So anything like zombies, demons, spirits, whatever in a game can have a scary anticipation moment. That's what I'll enjoy.
You said you got into horror, but what flipped the switch into liking the horror genre again now?
I got older and I realized, the scary monsters terrorizing you in those games weren't as scary as like paying your taxes or just going to work or like doing presentations in front of people. So just, I don't know. I guess I got bitter and old. I guess would be the closest thing.
So hashtag adulting is more scary than monsters with blood all over them.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's awesome. What kind of horror are you interested in? Any franchises or anything like that, or just general? Or
I mean, the Outlast game scared the hell out of me. I'm excited for the second Dying Light to come out. I love the first one. Just there was moments of that were just gut-wrenchingly, terror-inducing. I really enjoy the Dead by Daylight game, just being able to get hunted and evade and hide and such. And like I said, I just don't have as much time to devote to these. I can't remember the last time I was able just to have one of those, wake up, do something, and then just game and relax all day. But what's the? I was really disappointed when the Silent Hill game got canceled, like many years ago, because I was really excited into that. But I've enjoyed all the Resident Evils. Just those classic, AAA big horror titles, because I just don't have the time to hop on Steam or hop on some small indie developer and devote a lot of time to those games.
Ah, I see. Yeah, oh, cool. Awesome. All right, so speaking of more horror stuff, you had mentioned that you're really into cooking as well. What got you into that? More adult hashtag adulting, or
no man. Well, I remember growing up, my family's been traditional, my growing up family at least, and it was eat at home, family dinners, family breakfasts. Like we would go out occasionally, but that was a treat, and it wasn't like we would get a lot of fast food. So it was learn to cook. And I remember I was like 8, and my old man went to work, and my ma had the flu or something, so she was down. And I just got up and I made breakfast for me and my little brother, and I made a mess. Like I just destroyed the kitchen. And she comes downstairs, and my dad luckily walked in the same time, and she was just like, "Ugh, really?" And my old man and she was like happy that I like took care of my brother Nick, but she was also like devastated that there was like bacon grease on the like counter and on the backsplash, and there was crumbs everywhere, and just it was a mess. So my dad was like, "Good job, dude. I'll clean up." And that's how I just got into it. And I would always spend like whenever the whole family would get together, my cousins would be all doing something, but I'd be in the kitchen watching my ma or my dad or my nonna just making something, and I liked eating, so I wanted to be the closest person to the kitchen.
Oh, and so would you say too that you kind of like the social aspect that a good family dinner can bring?
Yeah, man. One of the things, I moved around a lot growing up. Like before college, I averaged about 2 years a place, and it was my old man just not chasing jobs, but just going through his career, and just more opportunities kept popping up, and we would move. But I remember those were always the constant. Like Sunday morning, we would have an awesome family breakfast: eggs, bacon, tomato, cheese, toast, bagel, like the whole spread, just awesome. And then at dinner, my mom stayed home with us. So like not until high school really, but always growing up, like we would sit and have dinner. And even like during high school, if we were watching some TV series or something we'd eat in the family room, we'd still all just be together, spending that time together. And I think that's important, man. There's a lot of that was like weird growing up with my friends. Like, oh, you guys have dinner together? I just eat in my room. I'm like, why? Like, just spend time with your family.
Yeah, yeah. You're totally right. Because as the norm is going, nuclear families, as they per se, that has fallen out of favor. There's not the big family get-togethers, and I totally agree with you. I mean, I enjoy for myself, I enjoy getting together for like the holidays and doing Thanksgiving and Easter and Christmas and things of that nature, because it's people you don't see for a while, especially. I grew up in a divorced household, my teen years, so it was just my mom, my sister, and I. So yeah, I totally see what you're saying there.
Yeah, and the rest of my family lives up in Canada, and I'm not precisely close with them. That's a whole smorgasbord of drama. But my immediate family, we were always thick as thieves, and yeah, I mean, it was a family. There was button head moments and all of the fun involved with the people you live with. But just that sense of family, like your family's always going to be there or your family should always be there, no matter what happens, no matter what choices are made. Like, as long as you're not actively out there hurting someone, as long as you're not, being a dick, for lack of a better term,
yeah,
your family should always be there. And that's something I very strongly believe in.
That's awesome. Okay, and then so far, with your passion of cooking, what have been like some of your favorite dishes to make, and what kind of things do you like to explore when it comes to cooking?
I'm very. I learned to cook from my nonna. Essentially, my ma taught me, but she learned a lot from my nonna, and my ma and dad are both excellent cooks, and they know their way around the kitchen. But the best thing I like to explore is I'll have something and I'll use whatever's around me. Like, my nonna would make whatever, and if she was making like a cake, for example, she goes, "Oh, I don't have cinnamon. I'll use nutmeg. I don't have nutmeg. I'll put more cinnamon." The joke was, "Oh, you like how that tastes, huh? Well, enjoy it. You'll never taste the same way again." And for me, like, probably, what's my favorite thing? Honestly, it's barbecue. Barbecue, slow cooking, whatever, on a grill, and just doing it that way. I love making any kind of pasta dish, and I'm Southern Italian, so I don't use a lot of heavy creams. I don't like the consistency of like a heavy cream dish. Like, people go crazy for fettuccine Alfredo. I could never eat that again in my life, and I would be happy. I like, garlics and oils and seafood, cooking with those things, and something that's light and fresh and just bursting with flavor. And I love spicy food. If there isn't a dish that I make that doesn't at least have some kick to it, because I just absolutely adore it.
Oh, cool. And so anything you've learned in this process of passion for cooking, like, oh, I didn't know that could happen, or didn't know that things work this particular way when it comes to cooking dishes and such?
Yeah, I learned the Carolina Reaper is unreasonably painful to consume, and I learned. I remember. I mean, you have all of your stop gaps, like you have a terrible dish or you ruin something and you learn from it. I remember I made pizza once, and it's such an easy recipe. You take Greek yogurt, plain, not like strawberry, that'd be weird, and all-purpose flour. You throw that together, you make dough, and you make pizza crust out of that. And on top, I threw just your basic ingredients. I put some minced up garlic, cheese on top, and then the toppings. I remember the cheese turned blue because super fresh garlic, if you bake it, it releases some kind of, not chemical, but some kind of reaction happens where it turns like a greenish blue. Oh. So I'm sitting here eating this blue pizza going, I probably should have researched it, but I ate a slice. I was like, maybe I should find out if this was bad. Maybe this is pesticide or something.
Oh, no.
No, it was good. I was just hungry. But That's the fun thing about cooking. Like, like I'll be sitting there after I've cooked something, and people be going, "Oh, this is great. This is delicious," or whatever. And I'm sitting there going, "How could I have made this better? What could I change? Not even to make it better, to make it different next time." And it's just a nice little challenge in my head to be like, "Oh, maybe I should do this before that next time, or substitute that with this." It's like kind of putting together a puzzle.
Oh, that's that. Oh, very, very cool. Awesome. I I had no idea about that reaction too. That something like that would when you bake it would do that. So
Uh-huh.
that's interesting.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so what about another thing that you had mentioned to me that you enjoy, and I know I've seen this is traveling. What have been like some of your favorite spots to visit, and what's the passion about traveling?
Grew up. I was born in Mississauga, Ontario, Canada, and from there I have lived in three countries. I've lived in, let me think now, two provinces in Canada, and states wise, six? I think six. Yeah, Kansas, Ohio, Michigan, Pittsburgh, Indiana, yeah, Denver or Colorado. Six total. And then when we lived overseas in Europe, and I was born in Canada, obviously living in the United States. I lived in Košice, Slovakia. We were right in the middle of Europe, Western Europe, kind of more central. Flights over there were nothing. Like people, oh, I want to fly to Italy. Cool. It was like $100. Like nothing. So when I'm in my adolescence, I was sixth grade through eighth. Just I got to go see the Colosseum. I got to see, Paris, and I got to go to just the Canary Islands, Mauritius, Germany, Munich. I got to see all this really awesome stuff. And since we moved back, like within the last year, just actually a little bit over a year ago, I went just with friends, and we went to Munich for Oktoberfest, and we saw England and went to Amsterdam, and just being able to see different aspects of the world, experience a different cultural phenomena going around is the fun part. The traveling sucks. The getting to the destination is fun. It really is, and I don't think I'm ever going to really stop.
So, so since you lived over in Europe, so that's kind of you. Do you feel like you're drawn back a little bit to get over there and do those things like Oktoberfest and such?
Oktoberfest was always just a goal.
Yeah.
I remember I was sitting there, and it was at night, and I'm with my group of friends, and we've made a bunch of drinking. We've met drinking buddies and made acquaintances over there, and we were all having a riot. And I just remember sitting there, and I was all proud and like, yeah, I like earned this. I have a career that's doing well, and I'm able to do this stuff still. And I remember I almost got emotional. I was like, yeah, I'm here. Because I remember my old man, when he was over there, he had a terrible Oktoberfest. One of the people that tagged along with them just couldn't hold his stuff, and they were in and out in like 3 hours. And it was like, you don't do that Oktoberfest. You find a spot, and you sit and you eat and you drink. And they've got like whole half steers on spit roast just going. They've got chickens, just thousands of chickens cooking. And if you get up and you move, especially during their prime hours, you're losing your spot. Like you need to like go with a group and like, all right, you guys go to the bathroom. We'll stay here. You come back, you go and like you split it off. You don't go all at the same time because your spot will be gone just like that. The Oompa-Pas are playing. The music's going. Everyone's having a grand time.
Yeah, you stake your claim. You stake your spot.
Yeah, man, and people don't realize they give liters of beer at like 8% alcohol.
Yeah.
So Americans, Coors Light, 12 ounces at 3.5. You have one of those liters. If you pound that down fast, you're going to immediately start feeling it, especially on an empty stomach. You got to pace yourself.
Yeah.
I remember we got there at like 9 a.m., started drinking, and people were already getting thrown out by these giant bouncers. One hand on their ass, one hand's on the nape of the neck. They're going out the back door. in 2 hours. And these guys, and it's not like they're just done, belligerently done.
Yeah, so you're saying basically you need to take the ambiance in and enjoy it and relax and have fun with it.
Absolutely. Out of my group, two of our buddies didn't go back. They went way too hard the first day, and they were just like, I can't. We were there 3 days. I went every day. I was like, I don't know when I'm coming back to this. There's no way I'm squandering the moment to have good Munich beer and Spätzle and good pretzels, and the weather was great, and I plan on going back. I don't know when I'll be able to, but I absolutely plan on going back.
Oh, awesome. Any other places that you've traveled to that have been just mind-altering experiences or things of that nature? Is like, kind of caught you off guard, unexpected, that it turned out a lot better than you expected, or even vice versa, that you thought was going to be better than it was?
No, I've never really had that bad of an experience traveling anywhere, and I never thought I would go somewhere that would be terrible. That turned out great. Places that come off the top of my head, Vienna was gorgeous. Mm-hmm. Just absolutely stunning. The old architecture and the old look of it just intertwined with the modern. Same thing with Rome. Just aqueducts and this old, just ancient ruins. Oh, and there's a barista like right there, right next to it, and you could just look at it. Amsterdam was probably the place that blew me away the most, because you think of Amsterdam, it's got such a bad rap. The drugs, the prostitution, all that. And I'm like walking through Amsterdam with my friends and going, this is the cleanest city I've ever been in. There's no litter. There's very little cars. Everyone rides around on bikes. It's like the city. I think one of the nicknames are, it's the city of 1,000 bikes, and so the air is clear. Even like the aqueducts or the rivers running through, you look in, they're not crystal clear, but it's like I don't see any trash, I don't see any garbage, I don't see any pollution. It blew me away. The food was phenomenal. Like I would go back to Amsterdam just for a relaxing getaway. It was awesome.
Oh, cool. What about the future? Any spots that you have your desire to check off the list?
Overall, I would love to go to Japan just to experience it. And I've heard nothing but good things. I want to get back down to the Gulf. I'm an avid scuba diver. I haven't been, unfortunately, in a couple of years. Since I moved to Denver, life has taken just a crazy turn after crazy turn in good positive ways. I'm not saying, I'm not belly aching, just I haven't been able to have the time. But going into next year, I should. Being able to get down to Cozumel, Cancun, Bonaire, seeing those more tropical areas. Because I'm an ocean guy. I like the mountains. I like looking at them. But if California dropped off from some giant earthquake and the ocean moved up, I would be, oh, no. Oh, the ocean's only like a 10-hour drive now. Huh. You see what I'm saying? It just, those are the places I love to go. And and the classic, love Vegas, been there a bunch of times, haven't been able to go in a while, want to get out there at least next year again.
Yeah. You had also too, now I remember you mentioned you do enjoy scuba diving. Is it because it's just like a whole different world?
Yeah. My old man, on his honeymoon, got down to Cuba. We were, they're Canadians. So Canada was allowed to go to Cuba, not at the time the States.
Right.
So, and they got down there, and my old man was just like, oh, scuba diving, that sounds fun. They essentially, threw a tank on him, put a mask on him, put him in the pool. All right, you know how to breathe, cool. And they took him out to the ocean. That would not fly in the United States. But he had such a great time, and we were in Indiana, and of all places, there was a dive shop. We signed up for classes, and we started learning how to do it, and we were diving these cold-ass, flooded quarries and ponds and these, lakes in 5 to 7 millimeter neoprene jumpsuits that just kept the cold out, but it was miserable. You saw one smallmouth bass. I was like, this is great. And I looked at my old man once, and we dived at this Lakeland. It was Lakeland Pond, and it was grimy and just disgusting. And I looked at my old man. We got out of the water and said, dude, this sucks. Because it was also like the water was like 50 degrees.
Yeah.
And he goes, we'll get to the ocean. It'll make it all worth it. And he was right. Like, we got to Cozumel in Gulf of Mexico, 75 to 80 degree water, and just vibrant and colorful, and just boom. It was all worth it. It was so worth it. And I've got about 90 dives under my belt. And yeah, you go down and you just kind of float around, and you just kind of turn your brain off and take it all in.
Oh, that's awesome. And so you just let the underwater world come to you then?
Pretty much, man. You don't touch anything. You don't screw with anything, because I have the things down there that really are pretty. The rule is, if it's really pretty, don't touch it. And if it's really boring looking, don't touch it.
Cool.
Because those are the things that'll probably end up killing you.
Oh yeah, that's true. So you say you've still got a little bit of an itch and an urn to go do that again.
Yeah. It's been too long, and I love my favorite animal. I love sea turtles. Love looking at them. That's actually one of the things on my bucket list, is to like do one of those, help the babies, the hatchlings, go to the ocean and like take a shotgun to the rat birds that are trying to eat them. I don't care. Like, circle of life, I get it. Nah, sea turtles are awesome. But it has been a bit, and I do feel that itch coming back to get on a plane and go somewhere.
Awesome. Yeah, that's cool. All right. Well, awesome. I think we'll go ahead and wrap it up there. But before I do let you go, if people wanted to follow up with you on social media, then also any events that you've got coming up that people should check up with you, and all that good stuff like that.
Cool, man. Yeah, my Twitter handle is @the_Severino_. I don't have Instagram, Snapchat, any of those things, and I honestly update my Twitter irregularly at best. Events-wise, Rocky Mountain Pro is hitting up the Pepsi Center again in my wrestling career long journey. That'll be on January 4th. So you can go to Altitude Tickets to get your games. And I am putting down roots and building a house in the Denver region, like I said. So once that's done and I'm kind of more settled, I will be taking more bookings again and getting a little bit more out there again in the Denver area and in the surrounding states. Just right now, man, you got to take care of the homestead.
Yeah, certainly understandable on that. All right, well, Severino Corrente, thank you for joining once again on RMP Radio. I know it's a different host than Austin Reddick, but I hope you had some fun coming back on to RMP Radio.
Yeah, man, this was definitely a lot more professional than last time.
Well, I try to get a little bit of both, so.
Gotcha, boss.
All right, thanks again for joining me.
Thanks, Artie.
Once again, a big thank you to Severino Corrente for coming on to this episode of RMP Radio and letting all the listeners get to know just a little bit more about the person behind the wrestler and what they like to do outside of the wrestling ring. Well, before we get out of here, let's pay some bills like they used to say back in the day. Want to get some fantastic merchandise from your favorite Rocky Mountain Pro superstars or talent? Head over to the website at rmpwrestling.com. Click on the merchandise link, or you can even go to Amazon and search for Rocky Mountain Pro, and you got some great, fantastic choices. This week, I'm going to suggest you buy a KT Dub shirt or tank top. KT unfortunately suffered a injury recently and is in need of some warm, fuzzy feelings. So if you guys are listening to this, purchase a shirt and help out KT. That would be fantastic. As for upcoming events, of course, each and every Thursday, Rocky Mountain Pro has their charged events, except for this month, with this being November and Thanksgiving happening in November, we will not have a charge on that Thursday, but instead it will be on that Tuesday instead. So I'm going to put a challenge out to you guys. If you guys normally cannot visit us on Thursdays, but may possibly happen to be able to on this particular Tuesday, or may have some family in town for the Thanksgiving holiday, and you may have the week off, bring them out to Rocky Mountain Pro. The price of admission is more than well worth the price you're going to pay. So going to give that to you. And then, of course, we'll have our Rack House show on that Wednesday afterwards. So, right, the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. So that's going to be great as well. You can find all those events and purchase tickets at rmpwrestling.com and just click on the events link. You want to watch us? You can watch us on Fight TV, Right Now TV, twitch.com/Rocky Mountain Pro. You can also get us on Impact Plus if you've got a membership there. Check out our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Rocky Mountain Pro as well, and on the Fight Network in the UK. So that would be great if you are not in person or just happen to be busy and need to catch us up with us somehow, some way. You want to follow us? Everything stems from the website at rmpwrestling.com. You can catch us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all with the handle of The Rocky MTN Pro. And that is, once again, The Rocky Mike Tango November Pro. Well, I want to thank you all for listening to this episode of RMP Radio, where pro wrestling is elevated.